everybody. The Coon Prairie Ramblers are back. The rabbits are still...
The rabbits are circled.
The wagons are still circled up, and we're going to... This is our last segment. This is the What If Bomb.
Here it comes.
Ooh.
Is that a good one?
Lord, have mercy.
I got to get better at that. I'm spitting all over this microphone.
Yeah. Well, you know what, folks? We were confabulating about choo-choo trains.
We was, but that train done pulled out. So we got a what-if question. What if you could go back in time to biblical days? If you could ask Noah, and you know who Noah is, the fellow with the ark and the flood and the animals, if you could ask him a question or two, what would come to your mind? What do you think you would ask old Noah about?
How about that, KC?
I'd ask him why he bought the mosquitoes.
Well, he was ordered to round up the critters 2 by 2. Don't you reckon that was an adventure in itself?
Yeah, I think it was an economical thing, because he knew later on we'd have to have something to put people to work, the mosquito killers.
Oh, no, there's a justification for it.
And we'd have to invent fly swatters, and there'd have to be a reason for it. Mosquito swatters? I don't know.
Well, the same could be said for other things. Why would he have brought the mosquitoes or the ants or
the arachnids?
Arachnids or the cucarachas and the...
Oh, the cucarachas. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, why did they do that?
Why did he stomp them?
Yeah.
Couldn't kill them, be done with
Palmetto bugs.
Love bugs.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was an invention later on.
Yeah, right. No, that's a rumor.
Oh, okay.
But can you imagine what it would be like if you had to round up the critters 2 by 2? You'd go out there and whistle, and all of a sudden 2 elephants come up, or 2 giraffes, or 2 laughing hyenas. You got to go out and chase these things down. Now, who wants to go be the one that's got to round up a couple of tigers, or a couple of lions, or gorillas, and say, "Get your behind in this boat"?
I wonder what Ham and Japheth and the other guy
probably drew straws. So he was going to go pick up the snakes and the tarantulas and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll go get the kitty cats. You guys go get the something else.
That's right. You have to chase some of them down like monkeys in the trees.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting to know some of the because some things have gone extinct. So I wonder if they knew. Well, they wouldn't know it was going to go.
No, well, they saved them, but they died out.
Like the Goonie bird, right? The Goonie
bird. I think the dodo bird.
The dodo bird.
The
dum-dum bird.
Passenger pigeon.
Yeah.
A lot of things were gone.
And that was just within the last couple centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wasn't the passenger pigeon killed because he didn't have his seatbelt on?
I think so. He didn't have an airbag for him.
And he was going the wrong way.
That's right. He was texting.
The albatross?
I think they have albatross.
Oh, albatross.
Imagine being on the ark and having to clean up behind all those animals.
The muckraker.
That'd be easy. Just throw it right over. There's no EPA.
But it wouldn't be fun.
No. You could make fun out of it, though.
They kept all the animals on the poop deck, right?
Imagine the fun those 3 brothers had. I mean, you'd have to make fun out of things, right? I mean, it wouldn't be all drudgery. I mean, just imagine what things they'd be throwing around at each other.
What about keeping the animals separated so they didn't kill each other or eat each other? What did the animals eat for all that time? What did the carnivores eat? Did they bring extra animals to feed them? Because they were out there, 30 days and 30 nights or 40 days and 40 nights, whatever it was?
Nights. Yeah. Wow. The question I'd be asking Noah is about his family ties. I mean, where'd you get Ham? I mean, he came in and made fun of you while he was drunk. And
why didn't they name him Ham? I couldn't have been like bacon or pork chop or something.
Ham. Why did he?
He wasn't Jewish, I don't guess. They named him Ham. He couldn't have been Jewish.
Yeah, that's right.
But he was A.K.A. Russell Crowe, wasn't he?
He was Russell Crowe? Okay.
Noah.
I'd be asking, because I always wanted to know, like my grandmother. I was always asking her, well, what was it like back in 1910? And I'd be asking, before the flood. I mean, give me a little bit of insight of what it was really like.
Well, they ridiculed him for like 100 years.
Yeah.
While he was building this giant ship.
Yeah. Well, I said, well, Noah, go back before 100 years and tell me about Grandpa Methuselah. Tell me about him.
Yeah, tell us about Methuselah because he knew him. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Take it way on back.
Tell me some of the interesting things some of your people did.
Can't imagine being on that voyage or whatever. I guess you could, but you could do a lot of fishing, I guess. It's okay to catch the fish and eat them because he didn't have fish on board. The fish could fend for themselves, so I guess you just caught fish and ate them.
I guess they did it without salad for a while.
That's true, unless they brought some with them.
But the Eskimos didn't have any salad to eat.
And they survived.
Yeah, they just eat blubber.
Sit around and chew the fat like we do.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I wonder whether they wash it down. I guess they wash it down with water. They probably have Pepsi Cola.
I don't know. I would not know.
I wonder if Eskimos still live in igloos, or if that's a thing of the past. Housing standards have come up.
I don't know.
Casey, elucidate here.
Hallucinate.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out how we got from Noah to
Eskimo, yeah. We took a wrong turn at Albuquerque here while we wasn't looking.
I think some rabbit jumped off that but went after him.
There you go. There's a question in itself right there. That had to keep the animals separate, but probably had to keep the two rabbits separated from each other. So they had a bunch of rabbits before they got out of there.
Unless all the animals that they brought in were juveniles or young and small. Like, would you bring in a
Baby elephants?
big elephant, or would you bring on a little? You'd bring on a little elephant, wouldn't
That's
you?
a good question. I never thought about that.
Of course, after the flood and they got off, and then they have to start progenerating, or whatever that is they do.
Procreating?
And so they'd have to be at the right age, stepping off the boat.
Oh.
So that they grow. Of course, they had a year to grow. Some animals. You take rabbits. I mean, you could have a whole bunch of rabbits
Big time.
by the time they got off that
Up
boat.
to your eyeballs.
Yeah.
But, some animals, insects only live so many days or weeks, so it was a close call for some of them bugs, I think.
That's right. Honeybees, they got a short life.
I know flies do.
Flies do.
Been
only live like...
reproducing on there, you know.
What's that?
They could have been reproducing while they were on there.
That's true.
Casey, I know where they had mosquitoes for the geckos to eat. They eat They eat mosquitoes.
So do the bull bats.
So they had to have some food. The mosquitoes were the food.
We had to have a bunch of them, or they would use them all up.
Oh, you get some animals like you're going to have a whole bunch of mosquitoes around.
I can imagine what a stampede it must have been to get off of that boat when they finally turned them loose.
Yeah.
They landed on Mount Ararat.
Yeah, they didn't. Did they tell them to stand in line, guys? No pushing, no dishing.
I think that the rats left the ship first, as they always do.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. I wonder if they went swimming and stuff, because they couldn't take a bath otherwise.
You know what? From what I understand, that was quite an unusual happening, and I imagine it took them quite a while to get used to like sitting on a big ocean.
It probably took about a day for all the hollering and screaming and the pounding on the side of the ship to quit while people were swimming along beside it, trying to get in. So that must have been pretty haunting and sad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really crazy when you stop and think about the fact that it never rained before the
Right.
That's why they laughed at it. It's going to rain. It's going to what? It's going to rain. Yeah, right.
Now, evidently there was a canopy. The heavens opened up, and the rain came down, and the floods came up.
It was Methuselah, Noah's grandfather.
Yeah,
He
Methuselah.
was.
Yeah, lived to be
69 years.
69.
That's a lot of birthday candles.
Uh-huh.
Noah was 600.
Yeah. Took him 120 years or so to build the ark.
So between the two of them, they spanned 1,500 years.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have to remember that. I hope he kept a journal somewhere.
Yeah.
How would
Imagine
he
the
remember?
family get-togethers.
You'd be so old you would outlive all your descendants. Mm-hmm. They'd all be dead before you was.
You know what? I knew an old man who was 104 years old. I used to go visit him at the rest home. And one day being a friend of mine, we happened upon him, and he was praying. And while before we entered the room, he was on his hands and knees, or his knees, at his bedside, and he was praying. He was an old preacher, Baptist preacher from Kansas City, and Brother Hoss, and he was praying. That was his last name, Hoss. He was praying, and he was saying, "Oh, Lord," he says, "I'm the last one. I've outlived everybody." This is basically, paraphrase here. I've outlived everybody. It's time to take me home. There's nobody around. And he did. He outlived everybody he knew.
That would be depressing, I would think, if you outlived all your family and your close friends.
Yep, 104 years old. I mean, and also he went from rest home to rest home because as his financial ability dwindled, because he's getting older and older, he went to lesser and lesser rest homes.
Less amenities. And,
yeah, right.
Wow.
I mean, he ended up at the end of his life sitting on the back porch watching geckos run up and down the screen.
I just went out and jumped in front of a bus or something.
Well, he couldn't walk because he
crawl out there.
He broke his hip.
Crawl out there and be a speed bump.
At 104, he broke his hip and he recovered from it and lived on bed.
The Lord had a plan for him being around for a while.
I never did find. He was at 104 last time I saw him.
Wow.
When he was praying that, we saw him praying that prayer.
I don't know.
But anyway, talking about Noah.
That would be the adventure, I would think, the
Yeah.
adventure of a lifetime. They made some movies about that, but I don't know that I would want to have been on board.
Now, I've never seen a movie that, to me, really accurately did anything.
It'll be hard to
captured
capture
it, yeah.
even with a modern day computer generation where they can do all that. It'd be hard to do.
You got to
that justice.
confabulate and say, well, you got to embellish the scenes, and
Think how big this ship had to be.
oh yeah,
And it took a lot of gopher wood to build that thing.
and pitch.
Yeah, I mean, scaffolding and
Yeah, so the knowledge had to come from God because they had to. They weren't born with it.
how would you know how to even build
Where
a
did they
boat?
get all that acacia wood?
Acacia? I thought it was gopher wood.
Or was it gopher wood? I thought it was acacia wood.
Acacia wood was used in
In case you run out of gopher wood.
yeah, it was the tabernacle in the wilderness.
Tabernacle.
Yeah. Anyway, boy, but I would be interested in family tie. Tell me about the family.
We get to heaven one day. We'll settle Noah down, ask him some of the questions. But anyway, we're out of time for one more time, so I guess we'll be seeing y'all next week, and we appreciate y'all putting up with us.
We all.
Y'all be kind one to another. And we'll see.